what's going on, y'all? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And you're about to watch a little OTB LSU.
We're going to give you all the latest, greatest between LSU football, baseball, women's basketball, softball, and everything in between.
Bottom line, if you want to talk Tigers, keep it locked, subscribe, like it, and we hope you enjoy it. Start though with the LSU football Tigers as they're back on the practice field. And, well, I had missed this story, and I'm sure y'all talked about it when I was out, but in some good news, but some serious news, defensive line coach Jimmy Lindsay is out of the hospital. So Coach Lindsay was taken to the hospital August 1st, a couple days before camp started. He was taken to the hospital in an ambulance. And according to Coach Kelly in his media availability, he said, quote, "We've gotten great reports. There's a long road of recovery ahead for him. There's other things he's going to have to handle that are personal and private for the family, and they're going to have to deal with." So, again, prayers up for Coach Lindsay and his family, as it sounds like, like Coach Kelly laid out there, there's a battle ahead for him. And in terms of functionally what it means for this LSU football team is that John Jancic is now coaching defensive line, and Bob Diaco, who, of course, former Nebraska defensive coordinator, who came on as a defensive analyst, is now coaching outside linebackers where Jancic was coaching before. So the main thing to highlight here, again, is that Coach Lindsay is out of the hospital, right? And that long road to recovery can begin. But functionally on the football field, a couple of coaching changes taking place on that defense. Speaking of the defense, if you want to read between the lines and look at who Coach Kelly's kind of been hyping up, when it comes to that cornerback room, it's something we talked about a lot, right? We said J.K. Johnson's rolling around with a cast on his leg on the scooter, so you got to take him out of the running for now. But Coach Kelly mentioned three guys, and, these are, I think here on Off the Bench, we can feel a little validated because these are two of them, at least, are the names that we continue to mention. The first is Deuce Chestnut, the Syracuse transfer. Of course, he was all-conference at Syracuse last year. I mean, anytime you get an all-conference player, I don't care what conference you're playing, his chances are that dude's pretty good because he's outperforming his peers. And he had to miss spring because of injury, but apparently he's been everything that they had scouted on tape coming in. And then LaTerrence Welch. Remember, we kept talking about him. He's sophomore. He's a long kid. I don't know his exact height, but he feels very long.
I think he's about 6'2".
6'2"?
I think so.
Even? Because sometimes these corners, when they're like 6'1", look like 6'3" because you're used to them being smaller. So maybe get a height check. But either way, he's tall. He's very long, and he had a really damn good spring. And reports are that he's picked up right where he left off after spring. So potentially Deuce Chestnut and LaTerrence Welch, kind of your leaders on the outside.
He's listed at 6'1", 193.
Okay, there you go. But like I said, 6'1" for a quarterback is essentially 6'2", 6'3" for any other position. That's a long boy right there. And then the third cat that they mentioned is true freshman Ashton Stamps, who I don't know much about, to be honest. But certainly whenever Coach Kelly goes out of his way to mention a player, you then start to focus on that player a bit more. So in one of the most important questions facing this LSU football team, maybe right now, very early on. Remember, this is all, spring in a lot of ways is like qualifying, like a NASCAR race for a pole position going into fall for this position battles. But this is the early portion of the race to who's going to determine who starts, right? Like, okay, you can lead for the first 50 laps, but if you don't finish, then what does that really mean, right? But it does seem like maybe Chestnut and Welch are in the lead right now.
Yo, Stamps is a great player. He played at Rummel. I broadcasted a game against U High where they came here and beat the Cubs, and he had the game-clinching interception. So he was a really good player at a good program.
Yeah, we were kind of hyping him up last week when you and Jake were out. Me and Mario were talking about it. He was my favorite DB that LSU signed in this class. I mean, he was only a 3-star, but kind of similar build to Cordell Flott, who was also a 3-star coming out of high school. And at the press conference yesterday, Kelly said he was a guy when he came in that really the only thing we needed was him to gain a little weight.
Yes.
He's up to almost 190 now. So he's a guy, he has the ability to play early. I really like his high school tape.
I mean, look, we've talked about it a lot. LSU actually one of the worst at taking advantage of 5-stars, but one of the best in the country at developing 3-stars. So maybe Ashton Stamp's going to be the latest in that number. Nice insight there, boys. Wow, Jake, what incredible takes.
I mean, those guys, they're just the best.
I think so. And if you think so, again, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell so you get notifications when we post every single day here on OTB LSU.